like the synagogue we came from, they did theirs actually on Mother's Day weekend. And it's helpful to know when it's going to be, because you can plan every year, when it's going to be. I'm fairly new to this synagogue. I don't know how they figured out the day, but it happens to be this Shabbos, this year anyway. So anyway, we take out the Torah, okay? Oh, Tza'at HaTorah. Okay, does everybody have the page? It's the first. It's right after the Kadei Shalem. Remember, we talked about the full stop. We stopped the regular praying, and now we're going to go into the Torah service. Okay. So if everybody's there, if you're not there, let me know. Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai ve'ein kama'asecha. Malchutecha malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha b'chol dor vador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz la'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. One thing I just want to point out, when it talked about Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, you can see we talked about root words, okay? So melech, malach, and yimloch, obviously they look very similar, and they are very similar. It's different tenses. And so it says in the English, it says, what does it say? That actually does not say it in English. It says, Adonai is king, Adonai was king, and Adonai will be king forever. Olam va'ed, forever. Okay. This is usually sung, obviously. I'm not going to sing everything, but Ein chamocha va'Elohim Adonai ve'ein kama'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha b'chol dor vador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz la'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Okay. So I have somebody that would like to read. Celia has her hand up already. Celia, and then Arlene will go after Celia.
How much you want me to read?
I want you to read what I just read.
All of it, okay.
Yep.
En kamoka ba'Elohim.
Elohim. I stumbled on it.
En kamoka ba'Elohim. Adonai va.
No, wait, stop. I want you to read it because I want you to know what it is, what you read. Adonai is what you read. It says, En kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai. Okay? You know that word.
Adonai. En kamoka ba'Elohim Adonai ve'an kamo. Wait, take a breath. Kama aseka.
Exactly.
Malchutaka, malchut kol olamim min shal
Mem
shal teka bechol dor vador.
Good.
Adonai melech, Adonai melach, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Adonai oz la'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
Perfect. Fabulous. Okay. Av harachamim hetiva virtoncha et Zion. Tivne chomot Yerushalayim ki v'cha levad batachnu melech el ram v'nisa adon olamim. Arlene.
Harhamim, Tetiva, Bir Sion, Bir Soncha, Et Sion, Tiv Ne Homot Yerushalayim, Ki Vicha Levad Vatahnu Melech El Ram V'Nisa Adon Olamim.
Good, perfect. But just because you now can read all the letters and vowels, I want you to pay more attention to the emphasis on the syllables. So it's batachnu, not batachnu. Remember about the metek. Now, since you're reading the letters and the vowels, you might as well get to the next step and do the emphasis on the right syllable. Okay? Terrific.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to rise as the ark is open. Vayihi bin Sewa Haharon Vayomer Moshe Kuma Adonai V'yafutzu Oivecha Yanusu Misanecha Mipanecha Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah U'Devar Adonai MeYerushalayim Baruch Shenatan Torah La'amo Yisrael Bikdushato. I have another volunteer, Eileen, and then Rumel.
Yeah, so you want me to start with Ki Mitzion or V'hayi?
Yeah, I went by Hayi. I want you to start from the beginning.
Okay.
Well, after we open the ark, you're opening the ark and you're coming in.
V'hayi B'niso Ha'aron Vayomer.
Wait. You're too good to let this go away. Being soa. There's a vowel under the ayin, so it has a sound. So it's being soa.
Aharon Vayomer Moshe.
Good.
Kuma Adonai V'yafutzu Oivecha V'yanusu Misanecha Mipanecha.
No, read it. Look at the vowels under that. You're too good. You know how to read it, so you're reading it. Yes, good.
Ki Mitzion Tetzei Torah U'Devar Adonai Mirushalayim Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'Kedushato.
Okay, you know that already. That's cheating. That's good, but I hope you're really looking at it to read it. Okay, because it's obviously a prayer that you know. Okay, so now we open the ark. I'm going to turn my page. I didn't give all the pages because I want you just to turn the page. There are prayers before the ark. Okay, and then at the end of it's the next page that has Hebrew and Lev Shalem. I assume it is in the other ones as well. At the bottom of the page, or it could be on the next page, you'll see a caret or a box where it says Be Ana Rachetz.
Yeah.
Does anybody see it? It's the last paragraph of the next prayer.
It's on page 170 in Lev Shalom.
Yes, 170 on Lev Shalem, because that's where I am. I don't know where it is in the other ones. It was just too hard. Does anybody else have a different book that you know where you are?
I have a Slim Shalom. Well, after 139, what? The next page, 140? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe 2 pages. It may be further than 1 page.
It's on 140 in the Slim Shalom. There's a box where it says Bay on the top. That's on the second paragraph on 140 in the Slim Shalom.
Yeah, I found it. I found it.
Okay. Does everybody have it or not? I'll help you. Okay. Okay. So the other part is usually done silently. So we're just doing for now we're just doing the parts that we do out loud. Be Ana Rachetz V'lishmei Kadisha V'yikra, it's really hard to say it. Ana emar tushbechan. Yehi ra'ava kodamach detiftach libi ba'oraita. Vatashlem mishalin delibi beliba dechol amach Yisrael letav u'lechayin v'leshalom lishlam. Amen. Be'ana rachetz v'lishmei kadisha yakira ana emar tushbechan yehe ra'ava kadama detitach libi yoraita betashli meshalin delibi beliba decholama Yisrael letavu chayin v'lishlam. Amen. It's easier to sing than it is to read.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
I really, I mean, I know how to read. They're not hard words, but as I'm reading them, they're like my tongue is getting caught in my teeth. I'm not used to reading, but part of it is I want us to be able to read, because even though, and I put it in the message, even though we're reading specific prayers that I hope that we're going to be using a lot, and that's why we're using them, you hopefully can take the knowing the Hebrew words and the vowels and the rules and read anything in Hebrew. So, but that's why it's good to be able to read as well as sing. Okay, I volunteer for Bay.
I can do it.
Ramel, you were, yes, I even wrote you down. Thank you, Ramel. I didn't look at my paper.
I could have done the other one. It was easier.
Yeah, but you know, it's the challenge of it all.
Be'ana rachetz.
Good.
Belishma kadisha yikra.
No, I just want you can read too well to do it. I want you to pay attention to the vowels. It's Lishma, may, not ma, it's may. It's got the 2 dots.
Belish
Okay,
me
Good.
kadisha
good,
yakira
good.
ana amar tishba
Not tish. Look at the dots underneath it.
tush
Good.
tush bahan tush
Yes. Yes.
tush bahan. Yehe ra'ava
Good.
kad
Ko.
oh yeah, that's okay, because that's the other, yeah, that's
Yes,
the
exactly. Good.
kodamach.
Good.
Sorry, Judy. Sorry, Judy.
Yes.
Sorry
Yes.
to interrupt you, Ramel.
Yeah.
It's in my book, it's ka. There's no, it wouldn't be ko.
Really?
you
You don't have
read
it?
it?
Which book are you using?
Do not. It is
Oh,
ka.
Can I
Which book
interrupt?
are
In
It
which book are-
is, look carefully at the kamats. It's different than the kamats on the line above.
Ellen, you
And
have
it's
the
hard
Ellen, you're
to
using
see. It's
you're
hard
using
to
the
see.
Lev Shalem. You're using the Lev Shalem, the red book. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Lev Shalem. Look under it. The kamatz underneath has it's longer than the other one.
So that makes it ko. So in all my years, I've never been taught that ever. To me,
Well, now
ko-
you learned something new today. Now you can go to sleep. And that's the reason I asked you what book it was. In just a plain book somewhere, it would not be different. It would look the same, but it actually is pronounced differently. So the people that produced our Sidurim decided they were going to make it easier for us. So they were going to have it look different. So the reason I asked which book you have is because in the Lev Shalem, it's longer. And in the Sim Shalom, it's a dot under the line. So it's shown differently, but it's the same sense. That's why we read, and you've seen it before. We've read kol, and it was the same. It's the same vowel that
Oh,
looks
thank
like
you
a
for
T,
showing me.
but in
I
this
would have
book it's
never
longer in the middle.
read it
Now
like
you know.
that.
You learned something new. Okay, good,
Yeah,
Ramel. Thank
I
you.
think it's a kamatz
That was great. I'm
gadol.
glad. What?
I think it's a kamatz gadol. I just can't remember
Yes.
all of my.
It is.
Yeah.
But normally it looks the same in a book, and you wouldn't. Only you have to know, and they don't want you to have to
Very
know. They want to make it
tricky.
easier. Yeah, they
Very
want to make it easier for us a little bit. So I'm glad you brought it up, Ellen. Thank you. Okay, now Ramel, you're on.
okay. I should have been looking at the next word. Detif ta libi beor wait a minute, beorita
Good.
vetish
Now look.
no vitashlim mishalane mishalin Vilibi,
Good.
Viliba,
Good.
Devo,
Now look. It's not a vet. It's not a vet. It's a look again.
Decole.
Good. You see it, by the way. Oh, Ellen left. Okay.
Mhm.
I was going to say there. It's there again. Okay. Sorry.
Ameka,
Yes.
Amak,
Amak. It's Amak.
Amak, Yisrael,
Good.
Litav,
Good.
Ulhayin,
Good.
no,
Yes.
Ulhayin,
Shalom.
No, you're wrong. And see, we're right the first time. There's no netek in there. It's Uchayin.
Ulhayin,
Good.
Velishalom, Amen.
Lishlam.
Oh,
We talk about that's the tricky one where you don't know whether it has a sound or not. It ends the syllable. It doesn't begin.
Velishlam, Velishlam.
Right.
Amen.
Good.
Amen.
Fabulous. Terrific. Ellen, if you look in that and you stepped away and the next to the last line where you see dechol, the third word from the end, you'll
Mhm.
see the same vowel again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to find it again.
Now you'll see it all over the place. Now that you know, you'll see it all over the place. Okay. Now we turn the page and we have the Torah is out of the ark. The person is standing up on the bima or wherever they're standing, and they say Shema Yisrael. And I know you all know this particular line, but look at it so you know what it looks like. So when you read the word somewhere else, you'll know. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Then somebody repeats that line. Who's going to repeat it? Who's volunteering here?
I can do that.
Okay, Linda, you haven't read yet. Repeat it. You're not muted, Linda. You're muted.
Oh, there's
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Okay, don't go away. Don't mute yourself. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Then you repeat that one too.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo.
Good. You know people that haven't been to shul in a very long time, but know a little bit when they start saying the Shema with the person that's leading instead of waiting to repeat. Then everybody turns and faces the ark, including the person that's holding the Torah, and they bow. Gadlu Ladonai iti unaromama shemo yachtav. Somebody want to read that? You want to continue, Linda? Read one more line, and then I'll get it.
Okay.
Stay as a volunteer.
God blow,
Blue.
God blue, Ladonoi, E.T. Rome,
Unaromama.
Uromama, Shemo, Yahdar,
Dab.
Yadav.
Good. Okay. Then I don't know if you were walking around the shul or not. We are not yet walking around the shul. But some in the good times we took the Torah around the shul and people kissed it, and we read Lecha Adonai Hagadula the Hagvura the Hatiferet the Hanetzach the Hahod Ki Chol Bashamayim Uva'aretz Lecha Adonai Hamamlacha the Hamitnaseh Lechol Larosh Romamu Adonai Eloheinu V'Hishtachavu Lahadom Raglav Kadosh Hu Romamu Adonai Eloheinu V'Hishtachavu Lahar Kodsho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Okay. Faye, did you want to read?
Yeah, I can do that here. Okay. Lecha Adonai Hagdula v'Hagvura v'Hatiferet v'Hanetzach v'Hahod Ki Chol Bashamayim Uva'aretz Lecha Adonai Hamamlacha v'Ham Tenese Lechol
Hamitnaseh.
V'Ham Nase, right?
Meet or Ham meet Naseh.
V'Ham Nase Lechol Lerosh.
Good.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'Ishtachavu Lechadom Raglav Kadosh Hu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'Ishtachavu Lehar Kadsho.
Kodsho. I'll say that for Ellen. You see, Ellen, you see it?
Right. Kadsho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
Perfect. Great. Okay. Now, we're not going to read what the leader does, but we'll just go over the Aliyah to the Torah. I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna ask for a volunteer. Baruch et Adonai Hamavarach. The congregation then responds with Baruch Adonai Hamavarach La'olam Va'ed. The person that has the Aliyah repeats that again. They repeat it. This congregation has done it. Then you repeat it. Baruch Adonai Hamavarach La'olam Va'ed. Then you continue. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Ha'olam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'Natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Notain HaTorah. The person reads the Torah, and then the person that has the Aliyah touches the Torah again. I forgot to say before you, I assume you do this, I don't know, with COVID, sometimes the people were standing far away, but normally you touch the Torah where it's being read. Usually do it in the white part, not on the letter, because you don't want to affect the letter. And you touch it before you do the first bracha, and then now you're going to touch it again where he or she finished, and say Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'Chaye Olam Notah B'Tochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Notain HaTorah. Yes, Arlene.
I wanted to see if I'm right. Sorry. I wanted to see if I was doing it correctly. I wanted to try it.
Okay, you're it then.
I'm very nervous about it when I'm going to do it.
I understand that business. Me too. So I understand that. But the
So if
more
there's
you do it,
anything-
you'll feel a little
if
more
there's
comfortable.
anything that needs correction, please do it. Probably the
Yes,
whole.
I'm trying to do it. I don't want to be, I want on top of you, but at this level, I think we have to, you're not just learning letters. I think we have to know what we're doing correctly and not correctly so we can read as correctly as possible. Yes, Arlene, I will.
Okay. Barhu et Adonai Hamvora. Baruch Adonai.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Now you.
Baruch Adonai Hamvara Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Ha'olam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Notain HaTorah.
Perfect. Needed no correction. Exactly right. Now
So
the next
that
part.
would sound okay if I did it like that?
Perfect. Everybody agreed. We all
Yes,
agree.
yes, very good.
Perfect. Lovely.
Thank
You wouldn't embarrass any of us. We would be very proud
Don't
to
want
hear you
to be
do.
embarrassed, right? Yeah. Baruch
No,
Atah-
don't. You were terrific.
And I'll do
Yes,
the one.
Celia's even clapping for you.
Oh, I don't have a view. Thank you.
Well,
Celia.
Are you going to be
Okay.
singing it?
Okay, now we're finished.
Okay, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'Haye Olam Nata Bitohenu Baruch Atah Adonai Notain HaTorah.
Hey.
Perfect. Perfect.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
No, honestly, all the vowels, all the everything. And you should not be, I'm not going to say not to be. I think, especially women, might sound prejudiced, but especially women, maybe because we didn't grow up with it, maybe because we're more appreciative, maybe we are more in awe of having an aliyah to the Torah and actually getting up and doing an aliyah. And awe is part of awe is fear, honestly. That's what part of awe is. So I understand I understand all of that, but you shouldn't be afraid. You can be in awe, but you shouldn't be afraid because it was beautiful.
Thank you
Okay.
everyone for bearing with me. Thank you. Thank you.
No.
Great.
Arlene,
It
are
was
you going to be
perfect. And
singing?
anybody else that wants to try it, please feel free. Yes, Ramel.
Could I sing it?
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
Don't sing it. Why do you sing it, Baruch? I guess Baruch. Okay, sure, you can do it. Whatever.
Baruch et Adonai Hamavarach.
Baruch Ananiam Baruch Olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amin V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notain HaTorah.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Hey.
Gorgeous.
Oh,
Gorgeous. Okay. Yeah, you could get away with either way, by the way. But that was beautiful. But you say I just wanted one thing to Natan HaTorah is the person that God gave us Torah, and then it also says at the end, Notain HaTorah, which is gives Torah. It's present tense. We're getting it all the time. So just that we can be aware of what we're saying here. Okay. Then some places do the Mishaberach. Some people do it. Some synagogues do it after each aliyah. Thank God we don't do that because it just schleps out the service. But we do it at the end of all the aliyot. And sometimes also you'll see, obviously, if it's offer for something like that, they'll do a special prayer after that the couple gets an aliyah. And that's the Mishaberach. Okay. And then we do the prayer for healing, all that stuff. So we do the Chatzi Kaddish. This is really short, but so we know what it says. on page 174 in the Lev Shalem. If you are in whatever other book you're in, you finish all the Mishaberachs, and then it goes to Chatzi Kaddish. And right after the Chatzi Kaddish, we have when the Hagba and Glila come up. The Hagba is the person that lifts the Torah, and the Glila is the person that dresses the Torah.
What are those words again? Hagba?
Hagba and Glila. And if it's feminine, it's Hagba'a, and I'm trying to think. I can't think of what the feminine is. But anyway, it's usually Hagba and Glila is how they pronounce it. And
Lila? He's saying Lila?
Galila,
Oh,
Gimmel
Galila.
starts with the Gimmel. Okay, that's the person that lifts and dresses the Torah. Big
Yeah.
honor because you get to really touch the Torah. Okay, so we say, V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. It says, just for a little bit to knowing, it says that this is the Torah that Moses placed before the people of Israel. It was by the mouth of God, the P, Adonai, B'yad Moshe, in the hand of Moses. And we won't get into that. That was in last week's Torah portion. Okay, but that wasn't last. Okay, somebody want to read that line that hasn't read? Or okay, Celia, I won't stop you. Celia.
V'zot haTorah asher sam
Psalm, you said, right?
Yeah, I said sam.
Yeah, I said.
Moshe lifnei bana Yisrael
B'nai.
b'nei al pi Adonai b'yad
God.
Moshe.
Good. You want to sing, Ramel? You're dying to sing it? Ramel, you're muted. You're muted.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael wait a minute, al pnei Adonai b'yad Moshe.
Al P.
Moshe.
Good.
Moshe.
Good. Good. Terrific. Okay. Then we do the Haftorah. We're not doing any Haftorah. The prayer for our congregation, the prayer for the community, all the prayer for our country, the prayer for Israel, the prayer for peace, which we really need these days. We announced the new month, which we did last week, because today is Rosh Chodesh, yesterday and today. For anybody that looked at the Woman of the Wall, they were there this morning. They had a hard time as usual. Okay, then we go to Ashrei. As long as we're here, we could do Ashrei. And this one I know for sure is 181 in Lev Shalem, 151 in Slim Shalom, and 420 in Sim Shalom. If you haven't gotten there, if you didn't get to the right page, okay? I'm gonna read this, not sing it. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yahalalu Chasela. Ashrei Ha'am Shakacha Lo. Ashrei Ha'am Shadonai Elohav. Tehillah LeDavid. Aromim Rimacha Elohai HaMelech Ba'avarcha Shimcha Le'olam Ba'ed B'chol Yom Avarcha V'ahalala Shimcha Le'olam Ba'ed Gadol Adonai Umhulal Ma'od V'lig Dulato Ein Cheker Dor L'Dor Yeshabach Ma'asecha Uvuratecha Yagidu, sorry. Hadar Kavod Hodecha V'divrei Niflotecha Asicha Ve'ezuz Noratecha Yomeru udulatacha asaprena. Zecher rav tucha yabiu, betidkatcha yiranenu. Kanun v'rachum Adonai, erech apayim udol. I knew that was udol. How do I do it? Chesed. Tov Adonai la'kol ramamav al kol ma'asav. Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha v'chasidecha yivarchucha. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. It's enough reading. This is a little tough because if you're not the leader, you only do one half of these lines. You don't do the other half. The leader does the other half. So some of the lines are a little more come off the tongue a little bit easier than others. But since we're learning how to read Hebrew, we'll read all the lines. Do you have anybody that wants to start and you don't have to read all of it? You can stop at some point. First Cindy and then Ellen.
Judy, why do they do that? Why do we do that? The half and half, do you know?
It's called responsive reading.
Oh, okay.
We do it in English also, right?
I didn't realize it I didn't learn the ashrei, like the why of it. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. It's a responsive reading. And you can see in the English, it's the same way. If you look over at the English part of it, it's just another way to do a prayer. Okay. Yes. Cindy, I think you were first.
Okay. Ashrei Yoshvei Vatecha Od
Yeah.
Yihalalucha.
Good. Stella. Did you lose? I lost you. Are you there, Cindy? Oh, she froze. I just realized she's frozen, I think. She's not moving. Sid, that's the first time that's happened. I don't know if she's still reading or not. I'll wait a second or two. Yeah.
And I think it's magnificent.
What is magnificent?
Her reading's
reading.
fantastic.
Her
Oh,
reading is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It's perfect, not a mistake. In our minds. I think in my mind, I don't read perfectly. That's the problem. Oh, did she went off, didn't she? Yeah, she's not there. Maybe she'll come back on again. No, I think she realized she was frozen. Okay. Any questions, comments, criticisms? I don't want to lose her. I'll give her 1 or 2 minutes to get back on. Okay. All right. No comments, no questions?
I have a question about something else.
Sure.
Growing up,
Sure.
we would sing the Shema, and then we would sing Baruch Shem Kavod. And I notice in my adult years in different synagogues, they don't do that. Do you know why?
Well, because as far as what I learned is you only sing that out loud on Yom Kippur. That's the only time of the year it's done out loud.
So do
And
people sing
any
to
place I've
themselves?
been, that's what it is. You do it silently. They should give you time to read it, but you don't do it out loud. The only time you do it out loud is on Yom Kippur.
Okay, thanks. I always wondered because
Yeah.
I'm always ready.
Yes, Cindy, I'm going to get back to you. We didn't continue. We're
Thank
talking because we didn't want to lose you. Yes, Arlene, questions.
The question is, when you do the prayers before the Torah, with the Torah, do you say before the Torah, the blessing before the Torah and after the Torah, does the congregation or anyone say amen when you're finished with that prayer? Does that
Yes.
work?
Yes, because yes.
It's not in the book.
Well, they don't have to say they because it wouldn't be in the book because it's just you do it. It's not. Some of the times it is because we say v'namar amen and say amen, but it is not always there. And also you said you'll listen when you go to shul next time or you see it. Yes, absolutely, they say amen, and the reader says amen before he starts reading the Torah. He'll say amen to your bracha.
But the one
Cindy,
now thank the blessing doesn't say amen.
No, you should not say amen to your own blessing. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Cindy, we stopped and waited for you. So if you want to start again, wherever you want to start.
Yeah,
You
that's
froze,
fine.
obviously.
Something weird, yeah, something weird happened with my
Yeah,
computer.
yeah.
Okay. Bechol Yom Avar Chech, wait, Avar Chech.
Ka. This is
I'm
really
sorry.
tricky.
You know what? My
This is a
finger was
really
on the wow. My
Oh,
finger was on the wow.
really hard.
Yeah,
But you don't see it too much. You see the dot in the last letter. You don't see
right.
that usually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Va'ahala
Mm-hmm.
Shimcha
Good.
Le'olam Va'ed.
Good.
Gadol Adonai Umhulal Me'od Dalig Dula Tov
Good.
Ain Heker
Good.
Dor Lador Yesho
Sha.
Yeshobach
Mhm.
Ma'a Sha.
No, it's on the that is on the left.
Okay. Ma'a Sacha
Good.
Ugvu, wait 1 second. Ugvu Ro Techa
Good.
Yagi Dor. No,
Do.
Yagi Duv.
Good. Good.
I'm done.
I was gonna say, I was just gonna say you could stop anytime. That was a lot already. Okay.
It's
Good.
so much harder. It just seems like there's a lot more.
Well, I
With
think
longer-
a lot of it
longer
is that
words
some, I'll
with
tell
more
you, the
vowels.
lines you have the harder time is the ones you don't ever do.
Okay.
Because when we don't lead them, when we don't sing them, we don't, not that we don't pay attention, but we don't pay attention much because you don't say it. So that's why I said when we started this prayer, it's a little hard. And some of the words are a little hard. You heard me stumble too, so it's okay. Okay, so I have somebody volunteered and I forgot who it was. I wrote it down, but I lost my Ellen. Yes, thank you. It was you. Hadar. I've
Hadar,
ever, 1
kavod.
second before you start. I don't know if everybody realizes, and I don't know if we discussed it last time we talked about this, that this is an acrostic prayer, that it's in alphabetical order. Aleph, Bet, if you look at the first letter, and actually in the left shalem, they're a little bit, they're darker. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Daled, Hey, Vav. And for anybody that knew this before, there's, or if you noticed, if you look more carefully, but you have to turn the page. I will get to the, when we turn the page. The nun is missing. They don't know why the nun is missing, but that's what, that all the letters are here except for the nun. Okay. Hadar, Ellen.
Hadar, kavod, hodecha, v'divrei, nifla otecha, asicha. Ve'ezuz, nor otecha, yemrinu.
Yeah, what was that? I'm sorry, miss. I got lost.
Yomeru,
Vinoratecha, yeah.
Yomeru,
Yomeru, yeah.
Ugdu Lot Ka, Asaf Renu, Zecher
No, look
Rav,
again, the last word. Don't read so fast.
Rena.
A little slower.
Rena.
Yeah,
Got it.
thank you. You can not, you don't have to sound it out, but just a little slower so you notice the vowels. Yeah.
Zecher Rav, Tuv Ha, Yebeu, Vitzid,
Yabiru.
Yebeu. Thank you.
Good.
Vitzid Katacha,
Good.
Yoranenu,
Good.
Hanun, Urachun.
No, there's wait.
Virachum.
Little slower. There's no dot in it.
Oh,
Right?
Virachum.
Good.
Adonai, Eric, Afayim, Ugdal, Chased.
Good. Okay, just because now we're getting to be too good, and as we talked about before, we are going to correct the little things when we're doing it. It's apayim, not apayim, because we have the metek under the next to the last syllable, so it's apayim, and Ugdol. That's that
Ugdol.
long T underneath that.
Ugdol.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Said. Okay. Just because you know you obviously you're pretty fluent, but you have to pay attention. That's the only thing, especially when
See,
it's
that's
things
new to me. I would have never said the oh. I still have to. That I
But
was
certain
never
things we always say
told
that.
about that.
I it's the certain things come for some reason we know, like the coal when we talk about all, it's the same vowel, and we do that. But the other ones, you'll see people don't read it correctly. And because, as Rumel said, it is a kamat gadol, and most people actually do not know biblical Hebrew or know grammar, and don't know if it didn't say it, if it didn't, they didn't read it, they wouldn't know. So that's why it got put in this book differently, so we know. Yes, Rumel. You're muted. You're muted.
Also, it's a matter of the font that is used. Some places it's easier to see. So, and my vision is not good. So, you know,
Yes.
it's easy to make a mistake. Very easy.
Of course. And the only reason we're obviously, if you're up there, nobody's going to correct you. It's just if we're trying to learn how to do it properly, we have to try to do that. And it doesn't make any sense for people to read and read incorrectly and not know that they're reading it correctly. So that's, I apologize for that. Okay, so we're done with that page in the Lev Shalem. If you're in the Lev Shalem, we're going to turn the page.
There's two more lines here in my book.
Oh, sorry, I got lost here when I got interrupted. Okay, keep going.
Adonai lachol v'rachamav al kol ma'asav.
Good.
Yo ucha Adonai kol ma'asecha v'chasidecha yivar chucha.
Good, perfect. See, you wound up perfectly. Great, thank you. Okay. Okay, we just have a couple more minutes. Actually, we just have a couple more minutes, and I don't want to go over. I'm taking a class with a rabbi, which is wonderful, and he's terrific, but he goes like 10 minutes over every week. And I'm gonna try not to do that. I just want to, I know we didn't finish, we will finish next week just because I don't like to leave it hanging. Obviously we did not do all the things that I had written down, but as they say, a teacher should always be prepared with too much material rather than too little, so you don't get hanging. But that's okay. And I just want to say one of the things I put down was Birkat Hamazon, the blessing after meals. Someone had said they didn't know about it. One of the reasons I put it down is hopefully we'll have lots of people go to the Women's League convention and you do it there. And I'd like us to be able to really sing along, and maybe we'll even have the Hebrew classes do something at the convention. I have to suggest that actually, something. I don't know how many of you are in the bat mitzvah class. I know Arlene is. I asked about the bat mitzvah. They're working on what the bat mitzvah class will be doing at the convention. They don't know yet. I am more than willing to help Arlene or anybody else that's in the class with help with what you're doing. If you need help, I don't know. We don't know yet. Yes, Cindy.
When is the convention and where's it at?
It is in Chicago, not exactly Chicago. It's in where it was supposed to be last time. I forget the name of the city. And it's going to be the summer of 20.
In Schaumburg, I think it was supposed
Schaumburg, that's it, Schaumburg, Illinois. It's outside of Chicago.
Schaumburg,
It's a
just
suburb.
west of the city, so you don't have to even drive into the city to be able to access it. You can get
Yeah,
there.
and it's going to be the summer of 2023. I'm not sure exactly of the date. I'm sure they know, I don't know, and we will tell what the date is. It would be exciting for anybody that's here. If you have been to a convention, if you haven't been, it is wonderful to get together. As much as we have a community, it's a giant community, and everybody generally is friendly. You get to meet some of the people that you see online and here or at other classes, and it's a wonderful experience. Yes, Linda.
Can you send what you sent for this week so I know what the additional
Sure.
things you wanted to do?
Sure. Yeah, sure. What we discussed, anyway, so that's that as far as the convention is concerned, as far as the bat mitzvah is concerned. I said we were going to do the Haggadah, and I think we really should. I said before, at the beginning, and not everybody was on, I don't really love the Maxwell Haggadah. I suggested it because I know it's downloadable. My suggestion, and please feel free, you don't have to say it right now because time is running out and whatever. You can email me privately or call me. If you have any issues with my suggestion. It's not set in stone, but my suggestion would be, if you have the Haggadah that you are going to be using, and if you can get a hold of it, if you don't have it in your hands right now, I would suggest you use that Haggadah. So first of all, you'll recognize it when you do it at the Seder, and basically that's the main reason. And I'm not thrilled with Maxwell's Haggadah. Obviously, if you want to download it, if you don't have any other Haggadah, that's fine. But in particular, I looked at it and I didn't find it inspiring to me. I know it's good and it's great because it's free. Some of you may have this one because this is also a relatively inexpensive one, and it was a very popular one at a certain time. I personally, we use the Rabbinical Assembly put this out, the Feast of Freedom. It has a little bit, it has some illustrations, it has commentary, and I like it. But I would suggest that, and what I will do is I will send out the prayers that we will, or the readings that we will be, doing, so you can find them in advance in your Haggadah. If you have it shouldn't be so hard. We say, the 4 questions, and you should be able to find that, and hopefully you'll be able to find it in your Haggadah, or the 4 children, or whatever. But if you have any problems, obviously this way, if you have it in advance, you should be able to hopefully be able to do it. So that's my suggestion as far as how to do the Haggadah, rather than even putting something up, share screen and whatever. First of all, I'd like you rather look at your faces and not do the share screen. So that's my suggestion. If that works, yes. Stand With Us puts out a nice Haggadah. I suggested at the very beginning that you have multiple Haggadot. You can read from multiple Haggadot at the Seder if you want, but you should also prepare a little bit. There's a lot of wonderful information out there and suggestions. For example, just a little piece on a different night has like a whole bunch of different for children. Not just the ones that, they're illustrated depending on who was the one that put out the Haggadah. The Zionists in the beginning, put out one where the evil person was the chassid, and the wise one was the kibbutz worker. So, it has to do with what their attitudes were at the time. There are lots of Haggadah with lots of interesting information that will add to your Seder. You can also ask people to prepare, people that are coming to your Seder, either by Zoom or in person, to prepare, or have them ask a question, because it should be the night of asking questions. If you notice, when we ask the 4 questions, they're not questions. We'll get into that when we get to it, but there also are no real answers either given. So the questions are the key, and the telling the story is the key. And hopefully next week we will start the Haggadah. The Birkat Hamazon, back to that. We may do it a little piece because it actually is also in the Haggadah. So because we do it whenever we have a Sudah, hopefully. We do it anytime we have a meal. Okay, I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom so we don't have to worry about
Shabbat
Susan.
Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat Shalom, and see you next week, and have a
Thank you,
great